What's up, guys? This is RG. I'm coming at you again with another high definition broadcast. This time it's going to be on the PvE Barbarian, and we're going to show you guys some magic find with this Barbarian, or I'll give you alternate builds where it does not involve magic find at all. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. It's going to start off with Cleve. This is going to be a pivotal skill in this build right here for Barbarian PvE. What we're going to equip the Cleve with is the Indigo Ruin, so it's going to draw enemies in from 20 yards away before the strike lands. This is, like I said, very good skill. This is going to be an indispensable skill because it's going to draw all the enemies in. You don't necessarily have to be the tank with this build. You can just be the person who draws them all into an area, and your friends will just smash their faces with AoE attacks. This leap attack is going to be our next skill here, and it's going to be with the Crimson Ruin. Again, this is it calls forth a shockwave, and it pretty much knocks them in enemies towards you. So from about 34 yards away, enemies are knocked in towards you, and then you continue to cleave them so that they get drawn in closer, so that all your friends could AoE attack them. And mostly in PvE, it's going to be AoE attacks, and for the boss, you know, you can do enough damage with those AoE attacks to kill him. Next thing we're going to go with is Warcry, and we're going to go with the Invigorate. So increases maximum life by 16% and regenerates 239 life per second while affected by Warcry. You can also switch this out to go two different things. You can go all of your resistances are increased by 50% while affected by Warcry. This is more of a tanking thing. You can also go Veterans Warning, the dodge bonus here, or you can go this right here, which I went, is the Invigorate, and this is more of a survival. It's not necessarily have to be with tanking. You could use it for tanking, but it's more of a survival mechanism because you don't have a lot of life gain back stuff here. You have just enough to survive, so we keep this Alabaster Ruin here for survival. Next thing we're going to go with is Threatening Shout. So like I said, with the Cleave and Leap attack, you're going to be pulling them in. So you want to be able to Threatening Shout them and reduce all of those guys' damage that, remember, you pulled them all in by 50%. So everyone around you within 25 yards is going to get debuffed 50% of their damage. You want to equip this with Terrify. So enemies are badly shaken and have a 16% chance to drop additional treasure. So this is a 16% chance magic find increase on all of those guys. So you definitely want that 16% chance to drop additional treasure. If you do not like magic find, you're not a magic find person, and you want to just focus mainly on debuffs and stuff like that, and damage, this and that, you want to go ahead and equip yourself with Falter. So basically, affected enemies also have their attack speeds reduced by 40%. So it's also debuffing those guys. So they have their damage reduced by 50 and their attack speed reduced by 40. This is probably the best one for debuff. If you want to focus on tanking, you want to go ahead and get this Demoralize, which is a taunt. So it changes your Threatening Shout to a taunt, and everyone attacks you. Now, if you're going to go taunting, you probably want to go this impunity, so all of your resistances are increased by 50%, because the Warcry already gives you 100% armor, so you want to go ahead and get the resistances as well. Alright, and I'll go ahead and switch out to a tanking build with this as well later. So, but for now, we're just going to go Magic Find. So this is going to be a basic Magic Find build for it. So here we go. Next one's going to be Rend, and we're going to equip the Rend with this Bloodlust. Gain 6% of your life, or gain 6% of your damage done by Rend as life. So 6% of the damage done by Rend is going to back to your life, and this is just, again, like a survival mechanism. So you can switch this out if you'd like to do more damage, and you already have enough life gain from health globes and your Warcry and any other skills that you use. You can switch this out to a Ravage, which is going to increase the range and do a little bit more damage, or you can do it to Mutilate, which is going to increase the duration to 7 seconds. For right now, I'm just going to keep it in Bloodlust because this is what I would recommend for this build. And for the next one we're going to go is Hammer of the Ancients. You want to go ahead and equip that Hammer of the Ancients with this Birthright, which is the golden runestone, and a critical hits have a 18% chance to cause enemies to drop treasure or health globes. So this is going to help you get health back or additional treasure. So it's going to give you another extra magic find. These skills, Threatening Shout and Hammer the Ancients, are the only actual magic find skills that you can use. So you want to go ahead and get the maximum amount of magic find on any run that you're doing with these Threatening Shout equipped with the Obsidian rune, and Hammer the Ancients equipped with the Golden rune. Now, at first I was skeptical of using Hammer the Ancients for this because, you know, it could also drop just health globes, but again, health globes are pretty good, and they're gonna keep you alive in the game. So if you don't like health globes or treasure drop, you want to go ahead and switch it out to Seismic Slam. And you could go 2 or 3 different things with this. I would suggest either going Shattered Ground, which is going to increase the damage, or you could reduce the fury costs. So that's going to also increase your damage as well, because you're going to be able to use it more than once, because this is going to reduce it by 10 fury. Other than that, you could go Rumble, but I really wouldn't suggest it that much. Or Cracking Rift, because remember the AoE is reduced. So I would either go Shattering Ground or Strength from Earth. But for now, let's keep it in Hammer the Ancients, because that's what I would use for Magic Find. Next thing we're going to get is this Inspiring Presence, which is right here, and the duration of your shouts is doubled. While benefiting from your Warcry or Battle Rage, you regenerate 2% of your maximum life per second. So remember I did the Warcry earlier, and remember I have a Alabaster Rune on it, so I'm already gaining maximum life by 16% and regenerate 239% or 239 life per second while affected by Warcry. So anytime you use this, you're already getting life back and you're getting maximum life. Now this is increasing your maximum life. It's by increasing your regeneration by 2% of your maximum life, okay? So you regenerate 2% of your maximum life per second, and remember this is increasing your maximum life here by 16. So this is synergizing with this Warcry, and you're going to be getting a lot of HP back while you're not even doing anything, because all you have to do is use your Warcry, which is a Fury generator, by the way, so you don't even need any Fury to use it. You're going to have it for 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes, and it's going to give you a lot of life back per second, okay? So more than 2% of your life per second, so within 50 seconds without doing anything, you will have full life back. And remember, you're debuffing them with Threatening Shout, so they're not even going to be doing as much damage with you. And Warcry also gives you 100% armor. So you're going to be getting a lot of life back, as well as using your Ren to get life back as well. Every time it's down, which is every 3 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, because you know, you're going to use it, and then 3 seconds later, then you could put it back up. You'll be getting life back from your Ren. So anybody in a 9-yard radius, which will be really not that many enemies will be outside that radius, because remember, you're cleaving them into you. You're pushing them towards you with Cleave and Leap Attack. Every time Leap Attack's up, just every 10 seconds, you're Leap Attacking right on top of yourself or towards more enemies, and they're going to be right in front of you. And you want to Warcry every time it's up. Threatening Shout anytime a majority of the enemies have no Threatening Shout on them. Or if an enemy is about to die, definitely Threatening Shout them, because remember, it's the % chance to drop additional treasure. And you're also rending them anytime you're close to enemies, because you're going to gain life from rend. Hammer the Ancients for the last hit, because you want to last hit them with this for sure, at least, so that the treasure globes or health globes will drop. Next thing we're going to go is Nerves of Steel, and this is going to increase your defense by 25% of your vitality. So your defense, remember, goes for your armor, your physical reduction and your magic reduction. So you want to be able to hit both, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and get both your defense up, reducing your physical and magic reduction, damage reduction. So you're just gonna have more damage reduction to pretty much everything, is what your defense does. So you can equip also this Bloodthirst, which gains 3% of your all damage done as life. So that's going to go with any damage that you do, with your Cleve, your leap attack, any damage at all that you do is going to go 3% of it is going to go to your life. Now you can switch up these Nerves of Steel if you'd like. You can switch this to let's see. You can switch this to Tough as Nails and Superstition, so that you have 100% more armor, as well as having reduces all non-physical damage by 20%. You can do that. You can switch this from go back to Nerves of Steel and get Ruthlessness, so that you get 5% more critical. Also, I wanted to talk about Ruthlessness. If you see this Ruthlessness, critical hit chance increased by 5%. Critical hit damage increased by 50%. Okay, you see that? If you see this Weapon Master, it's really useless if you have a mace or an axe, which is pretty stupid. In the beta, before, it was mace and axes give you 10% chance to critical hit. They should put that back in, implement that back in, because if you have a mace or an axe, it's really stupid to get Weapons Master. And why wouldn't you just get Ruthlessness? Because if you have 5% chance to critical hit, right? And remember, this is gain a bonus based on the weapon type of your main hand weapon. So this is, if you have 2 axes, you're not going to get 10%. It's only your main hand weapon. So if you look at this, it's 5% critical and 50% critical hit damage increase. So there's no reason at all, if someone has a mace or an axe, to get Weapons Master. So you can go Ruthlessness here, or you can go like Superstition. You can go Bloodthirst. You can go Tough as Nails. But you can go Unforgiving, so you no longer lose fear. But I really wouldn't suggest it, because you're gonna be PvEing and you're gonna be in the fray the whole time. So I would suggest either going Ruthlessness or Bloodthirsty or Bloodthirst, because it's gonna give you the 3% damage on his life. This is just another survival mechanism. You're gonna need that Bloodthirst right there. So yeah, also I said I was gonna do a tanking thing. So if you wanted to go Warcry, you could either go Hardened Wrath, or Veterans Warning, or Impunity if you wanted to tank. Threatening Shout would go to Demoralize, so you can taunt them. And you can, I would say, you can go Overpower as well, because Overpower, and you go Revel, heals 8% of your maximum life for every enemy hit. And remember, every time you Overpower and it critical hits, the cooldown is automatically reset. So you can theoretically have Rend. Instead of Rend, you can go Overpower, but if you don't critical hit, then you can't Overpower again for another 15 seconds. So it's a really high chance that you're going to critical hit, though, because you're going to be cleaving them and leaping them in towards you. So it's going to be a high chance that you critical hit, because there's so many enemies around you. You're probably going to critical hit someone. And 8% of your maximum life for every enemy hit, okay? So you're going to get pretty much all your life back when you Overpower, which is every 15 seconds. So that's a good way to keep your life up as a tank. And yeah, keep this Bloodthirst in there and this Nerves of Steel if you want to tank, because you're going to want to have that defense, which is all damage, not just physical, not just elemental. It's going to be all damage increased by the maximum by your vitality. So definitely going to want that. So there you guys have it. I'm just gonna load my PvE back up. So that's what it would be. And even with this build here that you're seeing, you can still switch out Overpower instead of Rend. If you would rather have Overpower than Rend, it's also very viable if you go Rend, Overpower and Revel instead of Rend and Bloodlust. So you can switch those out with this build. So there you go, guys. That's my PvE Barbarian. I hope you guys liked it. and I hope you guys keep commenting and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And also, guys, keep an eye on my channel because I will be getting another account for beta soon, and hopefully within the next week. I've been talking to somebody that has an account, so I'll be able to get that as soon as I possibly can. I will put posting more Diablo beta videos. And also, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday, so I'll be going out to the outlets in, I believe, in Gilroy somewhere, and getting some stuff there, like electronics and other nice items, so that I can give you guys another giveaway. And I'll be documenting on my camera, and I'll get I think about 3 or 4 things that I'll be able to give away to you guys, just as a thank you again for continuing to watch my channel. And so yeah, just go ahead and stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching, and take it easy. Peace.